Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another GTA Online video. My name is Saintsfan, and today I wanted to explain a little bit more in depth on the new security contracts. Now, obviously they've been out for a little less than a month now, so you've probably been playing a lot of them, but if you've been playing a lot of them, you probably haven't actually been seeing a lot of these Specialist Plus contracts. And I just wanted to explain what those exactly mean, how those differentiate themselves from the regular specialist and the professional ones, as well as how you can get them and do them sort of very easily. So if any of that interests you, well then hopefully you can enjoy the video. Now, of course, this week, and it's actually unfortunately only for the next 2 more days, Rockstar are doing 50% more money on these contracts. That's why these payments are more than usual. The Specialist Plus ones actually end up paying over 100,000. I think mine was like 110,000 for work that I did in like 4 minutes. It was very easy work for the money, and it's actually really nice to get those Specialist Plus contracts. But heading into game here, so you can see we are in our agency at the little computer, and when I go in, I don't have any Specialist Plus here. I have 2 professional ones and then 1 specialist one. And the reason, as we're going to find out, is because the Specialist Plus contracts, there's a very, very low chance of actually getting them. So actually, as far as the behind the scenes stuff of how it all works, this was posted from FunMW2. So he says Specialist Plus contracts are disabled within a solo session. And I don't really know if that actually means like if you're in a public solo session, if they're disabled as well. And I guess that's kind of what he's hinting at. He says he doesn't really know. He has to check more if it depends on if there's like more than 2 people in the lobby. But he does continue by saying the Specialist Plus contracts are only limited to 2 different types of security contracts. You have the Recover Valuables and the Vehicle Recovery. He says if you recall, or if you ever call Franklin and receive neither of these contracts, you can pretty much conclude it's not a Specialist Plus. So if you are just not going back to your agency, just getting a random one from Franklin, you're almost never going to get a Specialist Plus one unless it's either a Recover Valuables or a Vehicle Recovery mission. And he says, as for the chance of getting them, there's 2 factors. The game first decides which type of security contract you could receive. And because there are 6, he says it's equal to rolling a dice. So you have a 16.7% chance of getting a specific security contract. And if there's only 2 out of those 6, well, then you only have, what is that, a 32-ish% chance of getting either the Recover Valuables or the Vehicle Recovery. But then after that factor is determined, the second factor is which difficulty level. And there's a 60% chance for professional, 20% chance for specialist, and then another 20% chance for Specialist Plus. So all of this together is why you probably have not seen too many Specialist Plus contracts. It's very rare, only because there's only 2 mission types they can be a part of. And maybe in the comments, if any of you guys have been doing these security contracts in a solo public lobby, let me know if you've had any of these Specialist Plus contracts, because I am curious to see if that is a factor of getting them as well. Now, the explanation as to why these Specialist Plus missions are only on those 2 different categories, this was actually posted by Wildbrick. He says the only difference really between Specialist Plus and the other missions is that the game announces what you're doing to the whole session as a Specialist Plus mission. And as I'll show you guys with some examples, the only 2 security contracts that even have you like driving or doing anything in an open lobby is actually the 2 it mentions, the Recover Valuables and the Vehicle Recovery. So let's hop back into the game here, and what we're gonna do, so check this out. I went into an invite only lobby, and the reason is because apparently these security contracts are kind of bugged in that even though you're in an invite-only lobby all by yourself, the game still can give you those Specialist Plus contracts. So even though we just read that Fun said if you're in a solo session, they're disabled, it's not actually disabled in an invite-only lobby. So do this probably, as much as you can right now. Who knows if Rockstar is going to patch this, because it's obviously not intended, but we are in an invite-only lobby here. And if we go to the computer and we take a look at the actual missions we get, look at that. We actually do end up getting, on our first try no less, a Specialist Plus Recover Valuables mission. And the specific one we had was to go to the Tequila La, which I swear to God is like the only mission I ever get from this one. But as I'll go through this, it plays out the exact same you would with a Specialist mission or even the Professional. Like maybe there's slightly more people you have to kill once you do collect the item. But as far as like difficulty and other stuff, there's not really much else that changes between the three. However, like we just read though, these Specialist Plus missions announce everything to the whole session. And you'll see here, look at that. We get the stuff and then we exit Tequila La. And the second we exit Tequila La, that global signal does go out and you can see it does warn you. It says you're visible to all players in the session. And I guess all players can see what you're doing. Now for me, because we're in an invite only lobby, I'm the only one here. So no one else, there's no one else to bother me. But that is the sole difference between these Specialist Plus contracts and the other ones. It's the same missions, but at the end, like once you collect it, when you have to deliver stuff back to the agency, that's when you're visible to all players in a session. So if you are doing these missions in a public lobby or just a lobby with other people, just know that the Specialist and the Professional ones, you're good to go. You're not going to get people coming after you usually because you're not being, projected across the whole session. These Specialist Plus ones though, you are. And I guess the only reason the Recover Valuables and the Vehicle Recovery ones are like a Specialist Plus contract is because they're the only two missions you actually have to deliver something back to the agency. Because look at this second one I did, still in an invite only lobby, by the way. This one is the Liquidize Assets and it's only a Specialist mission. And if I just sort of fast forward to the very end, I of course had to go somewhere, kill this stuff, blow up the place, and then you get these 4 stars and you just have to lose the cops. Well, once you lose the cops, as you'll see, the mission's passed. So there's no me having to go back to the agency and letting the whole lobby know. So again, these Specialist contracts, it is just contained to you. And then the final one I'll show is actually another Recover Valuables mission. So the same one we did with the Specialist Plus, but this time it's only a Professional level. And very similar stuff is going to happen here. We're going to just sort of fast forward to the end. We had to go to the strip club to steal some stuff. And when we actually get out of the strip club, you can see it's different this time. There's no warning telling me that the entire lobby knows what I'm up to. So that's the entire difference between all three of these contracts. The Professional and the Specialist, they don't tell everyone in your whole lobby what you're doing. But the Specialist Plus ones, I guess, is Rockstar's maybe incentive to be more PvP related. That's why they do pay out a lot more. But they will alert the entire lobby of what you're doing. Now, as I've stated, the way to get around this is at the moment, just do these in invite-only lobbies. Because for whatever reason, the game does still give you the Specialist Plus contracts in the invite-only lobbies, even if you're the only person in there. Even though the game is not supposed to do that. So that's my suggestion. If you guys are doing these missions, for sure do these in invite only lobbies right now, at least this week while the 50% bonus is happening. You're not going to get these Specialist Plus contracts all the time because it is still RNG at the end of the day, but you will get them. And when you do get them, they're a lot easier to complete. So yeah, anyway, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Just thought I'd make this to help you guys out in case anyone else was wondering still between the 3 different contracts, as well as giving you guys some up-to-date information on those Specialist Plus contracts. So if you guys did enjoy the video and found it helpful, I'd appreciate if you could drop it a like, subscribe for more GTA content. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.